Viewers, what a day it has been for the Congress party. Its scion yesterday came out and hit a few sixes out of the park, as he claims, by suggesting that in this country, not just votes, but entire governments were being stolen. Sarkar Chori, he called it. Well, viewers, since then, the Congress's so-called H-bomb, hydrogen bomb, as Rahul Gandhi refers to it, is in danger of appearing less like a political explosion and more like an F-bomb, a fake bomb, a full-blown fake detonated for headlines. Rahul Gandhi marched out with dramatic claims, as I told you yesterday, of vote chori, ghost voters, an election system rigged by the BJP and the Election Commission. That's what he said. And he said it with such elan, viewers, spinning around and turning to the big screen behind him and talking about Brazilian models and so on and so forth. But when the smoke cleared, the facts began to speak for themselves, and they are not painting Rahul in a flattering light. Rahul pointed to a Brazilian model used 22 times on voter rolls to allege fake voting. Turns out she's real, alive and furious, and she cast no vote. This is Larissa Nery, viewers, and she said, I was young in the photo. I was like 18 or 20 years old. They're using my photo to do, I don't know, if it's an election or something about voting. Listen in, viewers.
Gente, contar pra vocês uma fofoca, vocês vão rir demais. Não, vou contar fofoca. Gente, estão usando uma foto minha, antiga. A foto é velha, tá? Eu tava novinha na foto, devia ter uns 20 anos, 18 anos. Estão usando a foto minha pra fazer, eu não sei se é uma eleição, alguma coisa de voto, que tem que votar. E na Índia, estão me colocando como indiana pra dar golpe nos outros, gente. Olha que loucura. Que doideira é essa? Que mundo nós estamos vivendo? Aí um repórter me chamou, querendo saber sobre esse trem, ligou lá no salão, no meu emprego, querendo conversar comigo pra entrevista. Aí eu não respondi, falei pra Tatá não passar meu número e tal. O cara achou meu Instagram, me chamou no Instagram. Agora uma outra pessoa que não tem nada a ver com o assunto, uma amiga minha de outra cidade, me manda uma foto. Vou colocar aqui pra vocês, aqui embaixo pra vocês verem. Aqui. Vocês não vão acreditar. Ô, gente.
What madness is this, she says. So the Brazilian model's picture, viewers, now in the interest of fairness, I must point this out. Though the Brazilian model's picture on voter ID cards is an embarrassing testament to the Election Commission's mismanagement or clumsiness, it doesn't convict the poll panel of malpractice or malfeasance. Yes, it looks terrible that India's Election Commission and some bureaucrats there can't even prepare a card with some fidelity of professionalism. Had the card with the Brazilian's face been used to cast fake votes, it would have been, however, a different matter, viewers. Luckily, that hasn't happened. But as the facts suggest, it wasn't. We'll come to that in a minute, but the photo of the Brazilian model being misprinted on a voter ID card is the kind of clerical processing error that a SIR or special intensive revision of the voter list can easily address. And perhaps that's one of the reasons why, to save itself the blushes, the Election Commission is going out there. Perhaps it knows. It knows where it has messed up. And in the interests of perhaps professionalism, it is kicking off this national SIR so it can, with new technology, viewers, remember this goes back 20 years, so with new technology, they can actually weed out all this rubbish. But viewers, for some odd and mysterious reason, Rahul Gandhi is dead against an SIR. Viewers, if he has a problem with this kind of stuff, then the SIR is the solution. You can't also oppose the solution. Nonetheless, beyond this mismatch, the other serious claim made by Rahul Gandhi have failed the fact check. The 66 fake voters, and let's just look at those facts and we put them together for you. The 66 voters, Rahul waved on his screen, they exist, they voted, they live at the same large plot he either never visited or never wanted to understand. Viewers, 66 fake voters with one address in Hodal, which is a pocket borough in Haryana. A spot check reveals that a large plot there, it's one of those plots, viewers, of land which has many little tenements on it. Many people live in that, disparate families who have actually voted. Viewers, he's talked about other things also. In Hodal, he said that 501 fake voters were living on one address. The spot check reveals a large plot, home to multiple voters who cast their ballot. It's not as if they didn't cast their ballot. They went out there and did so. Then, of course, is the Brazilian model's photo, used 22 times in 10 booths. You heard what Larissa, the Brazilian model, has said. Old picture, don't know why it's being used in poll-related issues. But what we can also tell you, viewers, is that the people whose names were printed on those voter ID cards have actually voted. So yes, their photo, there was a mismatch between their name and their photo, but they actually did turn up to vote. And they've even written to the EC to rectify this error, and some of them have found that the EC has been completely deaf, tone deaf to their complaints. So it's not as if some other people even voted for the AAP. So this claim that everyone who is being put into a vote list is a BJP voter is also not sort of being borne out. 1 in 8 voters in Haryana, he claimed, were fake. Pinky Kaushik said, and we interviewed her, I cast vote for myself, long-standing photo misprint issue. I took it up. What can I do, sir? The bureaucrats within the Election Commission do not work at the speed that I would want them to work, and that's a failing. And good of Rahul Gandhi to have brought this up, but then I don't understand why, as I told you, he opposes the solution. He went on to say theft of 25 lakh votes in Haryana. Again, Munish Devi, one of the people he said whose votes had been stolen, said, no, I cast my own vote in 2024. There's no vote chori happening. This isn't the first time Rahul's claims have been debunked by the facts on the ground. In Maharashtra, Rahul claimed more people voted than the total population. The Election Commission, and these are now available statistics, say 9.7 crore voters were there. Total vote cast were only 6.4 crores. Rahul then claimed that inexplicable increase in voting post 5 p.m. The EC turned around and said, no, in Maharashtra, there was an addition of 8% in final hours, and it's not abnormal. In previous elections, the same has happened. In other states, that has happened. In fact, even in states where the Congress has won, that has happened. In Karnataka, Rahul claims 70-year-old Shakun Rani registered as a voter twice. Turns out that Shakun Rani only voted once, not twice. Yes, she was listed a couple of times, but did not vote at 2 different locations. Aditya and Vishal, he said, were registered in multiple states. Both registered in Bengaluru. Mahadevpura only, said the Election Commission, giving out the facts. Earlier, after similar claims by Rahul Gandhi as illustrated here, the Election Commission had thrown down a challenge. Prove it under oath or apologize to the nation. But Rahul Gandhi never picked up the gauntlet. This is Gyanesh Kumar, and I'm taking you back to August of this year. He said, submit in 7 days a declaration under oath personally, along with proof of electoral roll irregularities, and alleged to apologize to the nation. Rahul didn't comply with the deadline. He let it pass, and he's come up and dropped this H-bomb, as he calls it, the Haryana bomb. So tonight we ask, was this a genuine fight for electoral integrity or a reckless stunt to delegitimize defeat, which he might think is impending in Bihar? Did Rahul expose voter fraud, or did he expose a political strategy built on misplaced claims? And are the H-files meant to shock India, boomeranging on the Congress party's credibility? Now, viewers, this is a serious allegation. And yesterday also, I urged our panelists to take this with the utmost seriousness. The LOP of the nation is making certain claims. I was told that one should respect the LOP. No, viewers, we respect the post. It doesn't mean that you have to respect the LOP, specifically if the LOP is not making sense. But nonetheless, viewers, in the interest of an open and honest debate, let's ask some of these questions. And let's also ask some of the more particular questions. And I want to begin with Sanjay Jha. He's here with us. Thank you very much, Mr. Jha, for joining this panel. I want to ask you, sir, fair enough, there are these anomalies. I think we all know that these anomalies exist. They exist cutting across many offices. You know that there are some people who have double registration, housing papers, this, that, the other, licenses. We know that these bureaucratic, unfortunate gaffes occur from time to time. But how are you suggesting that there has been collusion and fake voting? Where is the proof of this fake voting?
Rahul, good evening to you and to my fellow panelists on the program. First and foremost, I think what is the purpose of a fair and free election in a democracy? Let's establish that. If I am eligible to vote, I should not be excluded from voting. And if somebody, for whatever technical reasons, is not eligible to vote, they should not be allowed to participate in an election. That's a simple, uncomplicated formula for a correct electoral practice. What has Rahul Gandhi really brought out? And I believe that it's a very bipartisan argument that does have a political connotation. And I'll explain why it has a political, shall we say, character. But Rahul Gandhi has basically used the election commission data. He's extracted, or his team has extracted, information from the election commission website. These are not manufactured. These are not created. You know, the BJP is trying to spread this propaganda that Rahul Gandhi has concocted them. There's no concoction. These distortions, anomalies, as you call them, bizarre distortions, whatever they are, these deviations, are from the election commission database. Now, let's go by what you mentioned, Rahul, and I want to debate this issue rather seriously because this concerns the health of India's democracy, right? I think you are concerned about it, as am I. I mean, today you have a BJP in power. Tomorrow the Congress could be in power. I don't think the BJP, Sinhaji and others would like the Congress to then use institutions to throttle an electoral fair administrative culture. So here is the simple answer. Rahul Gandhi has pointed out several anomalies. Some of them are this Brazilian woman having multiple votes, etc. He's talked about a UP Sarpanch voting in Haryana. He's talked about a woman registering over 100 times. There are multiple issues. And by the way, they're not just restricted to what he said yesterday. I mean, I want the people to also look at what happened in Aland, where in Karnataka, there has been an SIT that has established beyond doubt that at rupees 80 voters' names were being deleted. Now, the allegation is very straightforward, that the election commission is stonewalling, is being very opaque. Now, let's take your example. You and I have been on a couple of other channels, including one that you worked in earlier, and they all said, we visited this home, we pulled out this card, blah, blah, blah. And my simple answer to that is that if a TV channel, which has got a huge mandate to cover multiple issues, can overnight send its reporters and get some kind of, at least some basic elementary information, why has the election commission, with such a massive human resource base, been silent all these months? It's remarkable. It's absolutely extraordinary. And to me, the most shocking part is that the only political party in this country, please remember, the only political party in this country that remains very stoutly defending the election commission, when that's not its job. It can argue when the Congress alleges that the BJP is directly benefited by it. Please come and argue that. But to defend the election commission on the SIR in Bihar, where the Supreme Court, Rahul, you know that, if the Supreme Court was not forced to intervene after all those pleas, the election commission was refusing to tell the people of Bihar who were the 65 lakh voters who were being deleted and why. Until we petitioned the Supreme Court, the election commission was against accepting Aadhaar as a document. And when the Supreme Court mandated that, is when the entire problem in Bihar abated overnight. So there are serious issues of intent. There are massive, I would say, questionable points in terms of why would there be an attempt by an independent body of the Constitution to behave as if it is a surrogate.
4 points.
or a handmaiden of the government.
Okay, so 4 points you have made. First of all, I just want to quickly put in perspective. Sanjay Jha, no one is accusing Rahul Gandhi of concocting what he is taking out of the voter list.
Sure.
The accusation that is being made is that he's concocting the conclusion. See, my question to you was, how do we connect the dot? Yes, there are these people who have multiple IDs, this, that, the other. Granted, this probably exists. It is been taken out of the EC poll rolls. But how do we suggest that those people whose photos were mismatched with this Brazilian lady actually did not vote and someone else voted for them? Right, that's the one logical loophole that exists, which Rahul Gandhi has not been, that needle he has not been able to thread. So his conclusion that, oh, fake voting is taking place because there are so many people with voter ID cards, with mismatches of photographs, is not playing out logically.
That's
so that's
a
what.
logical conclusion.
Look, I'm just, please, sir, 1 second. I'm only talking about I think what I'm trying to say, and I'm not trying to contradict you. All I'm saying is, sir, that the difference is in the conclusion that has been reached. Rahul Gandhi claims that this is evidence of fakery. Others are saying, no, this is an evidence of mismanagement, not malevolence. Okay, so that's one. Secondly, you said that, look, in Ireland and all of that, SIT came out and said that for a price you could remove voters, this, that, the other. The EC took action. Don't forget, it didn't just sit on its haunches. It took action. It took steps. Thank you for pointing it out. And this is exactly what the Supreme Court has been saying. There is a format. Please go before the Election Commission. If you have this kind of proof, and it's clear that the EC, when it's given that kind of proof, acts on that proof. So that's on one point. The EC has not been silent all these months, viewers. It has held press conferences. As I told you, in August it held one, and it told Rahul Gandhi, please put with documented evidence all these facts that you're bringing out under an affidavit signed by yourself, present it to us, we'll act on it. The Supreme Court has said the same. If the EC's response is not satisfactory, the Supreme Court said then we can get into it. But that has not happened, viewers. And fourthly, Aadhaar. Yes, I think the EC bungled by saying that no, it should not be considered. But don't forget, viewers, so did the opposition. The opposition was always against the Aadhaar as a proof of citizenship. And it came out and has gone to court saying that you should not link it to mobile and this, that, the other in the interests of securing people's privacy. So I'm just putting the context there. Nonetheless, I want the BJP to respond that, look, Rahul Gandhi has come out, the EC has been caught a bit flat-footed, it's not looking like a professional organization. How do you respond to these charges? And this is all maladroitness.
Well, good evening, Rahul. Good evening, everybody. You know, Rahul Gandhi's so-called hydrogen bomb has once again turned out to be a low-cost mirchi pataka. And, you know, the more that he delays apologizing to the nation, it's actually fueling anger in the people, which will result in, you know, in even bigger losses for the Congress party. But anyway, coming to what he said yesterday, you know, Sanjay Jha alluded that, you know, a channel which is friendly to the government has, you know, done its story to rebut Rahul Gandhi's claim. I have a report published in Indian Express, which is by no means known to be friendly to the BJP. This extensive report rebuts all of the claims of Rahul Gandhi, whether it was in Hodel, whether it was in Rai. Now, having said that, you know, let me clarify and let me specify over here that the glitches cannot be defended. I am not here to defend the Election Commission. The Election Commission is answerable for these glitches. But at the same time, I am here to call out Rahul Gandhi's bluff. I am here to call out his intent, because in the last several months, he has not been able to link these glitches with a potential gain to the BJP. And somehow he doesn't understand this concept, that he needs to link these. You know, he has been on a mission to drag women's name, whether it is Ranju Devi, Minta Devi, or now Larissa Nery into it, unnecessarily insinuating that they are wrongdoers when actually they have they have been harmed by these glitches, for which, like I said, the Election Commission owes answers. I'm not defending that. But I have a very pointed question to Sanjay Jha today. After this fiasco, I need to understand what exactly happens to the EVM tampering charges. Where does the Congress party stand? Because, just 1 year ago, they were even more passionate on the EVM hacking, EVM tampering cases, charges. Are they now conceding that that entire thing was a lie? And what guarantee is there then that in the next 6 months they will move on to another issue? And number two, had it been any other person in place of Rahul Gandhi, had it been any other person in place of Rahul Gandhi, that person would have had the conviction, the gumption to approach the Supreme Court. Last time when he was asked why is he not approaching the Supreme Court, he said, it's not my job to save the democracy of this country. And now again he has chickened out. And that is where there are serious questions over the intent of Rahul Gandhi. I personally feel he owes an apology.
Gentlemen, 1 second. Let's not get first caught up in this crossfire. Let me get everyone's view. There's another Samajwadi Party leader. There's
a quick answer on the EVM.
No, 1 second. We'll come to that. Look, there have been many. I mean, there have been 8 iterations of something to do with either the EVM battery, the VVPAT, the technology, the fact that the EVMs themselves, and then, of course, voter turnout. So at every level, I think we've gone through all these hoops, haven't we, Dr. Ranganathan? And nothing really has come out.
Well, good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. What has come out is a fused bomb where you have nothing of the sort of the fusion or the thermonuclear explosion that was promised.
There are obvious problems. I mean, you can't have a Brazilian's face splattered across 30 people's voter ID, and the Election Commission does nothing about that. So fundamentally.
I mean, I was coming to that. Two very brief points. Number one, that is why it's very important to have, something of a foundation which is scientific, even if you're not a scientist. Why do I say this? Because science works by prior art, in the sense that you run a control. Whenever you run an experiment, you run a control. That control could be positive or negative control. And I'll give you a couple of examples out here how Rahul Gandhi is deliberately not running controls, because then he would be exposed. And as you rightly said, the problem is not that glitches and misappropriations and mistakes are being found out, of course. And every such glitch or every such error has to be corrected, and EC is to be blamed for it. But the difference is that while such errors have always been found out in all the elections that have happened in India, it is only here that Rahul Gandhi is blaming that these errors are deliberately being carried out to favor one party. That is the difference. Now let me come to the controls. What do I mean? Rahul Gandhi alleged that Bangalore Central constituency, where BJP won, there were 11,400 odd duplicate votes, and that is the reason why BJP won. What would have been fair enough? What would have been the thinking man's scientific control of this is to find out in other constituencies whether they were duplicate votes where Congress won. And lo and behold, in Wayanad, where Rahul Gandhi himself won, there were 20,000 duplicate votes. In Rai Bareli, where Priyanka Gandhi won, there were 19,000 duplicate votes. Does that mean that the occurrence of duplicate votes favored Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi? That is one control. The other control is in 2000. Now, Rahul Gandhi alleges that there are 0 addresses, there are all these discrepancies, mismatches. What would have been an appropriate control is to look at when the UPA was ruling this country. In 2008, the Election Commission found in constituencies, after constituencies where Congress won, I think one of the constituencies, Uttam Nagar, 42,000 duplicate votes. Did the BJP allege that we lost because in the constituency where Congress won, 42,000 duplicates were found? There he is deliberately not running controls. And now I come to the final brief point. Now, Sanjay let out something that maybe he would regret that why did he? He said, look, we gave a symbolic punch to the EC because when we petitioned the Supreme Court had to force EC to accept. Well, it's a simple question. Why have you not petitioned the Supreme Court in this case? You petitioned the Supreme Court in VVPAT case. You know what happened? 4 crore VVPATs were tallied with the EVMs. Not one bona fide discrepancy was found by the Supreme Court. 4 crore. 100% success by the Election Commission. You petitioned the Supreme Court in the EVMs, whether they are, doctored and all. What happened? The Supreme Court threw it out. You petitioned the Supreme Court in Justice Loya's case, in Rafale, in 370, in demonetization. The reason you are not petitioning the Supreme Court right now is because you know you have no legs to stand on, and by not going to the court, you are
Rahul, can I get
deliberately
a
prodding the
response?
Gen Z to come out so that you can keep on, once the Supreme Court deliberates on this matter, you will have no case to stand on.
Okay.
For example, the Rahul Gandhi can no longer prod the Gen Z to come out on the streets saying that there was corruption in Rafale. Because the Gen Z would say the Supreme Court has ruled that there is no corruption. Out here, that is the reason you don't want to go to the
So
court.
let me bring in now the Samajwadi spokesperson. Let's get his point of view. He's also a bona fide member of the opposition. There is something that does strike me, and I'm going to ask you these questions. I just want to make a quick point, viewers. BRS lost badly. YSRCP trounced, demolished. BJD trounced, demolished. AAP extinguished in Delhi. None of them came out and said, "Hamara vote chori ho gaya." None of them came out and said it. Only the Congress is talking about this. The Samajwadi Party, in an election that was supposed to be rigged, won its best showing in Uttar Pradesh in a Lok Sabha election in about, 15 years? I want to ask you, sir, please, for the interests of balance in this debate, could you tell me, Mr. Kidwai, any case of fake voting that has been proven, number one, any proof that there was collusion between BJP and the ECI? Yes, even I am on your side. I'll tell you very much, I'm on your side. The Supreme Court said that you need to reconstitute the manner in which the CEC is appointed. There should be a Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice, there should be the Prime Minister, and there should be the LOP. That hasn't happened. We moved from a completely unsupervised system now to some sort of a hybrid system where you have the LOP and you have the Cabinet Minister and you have the PM. That still gives 2:1 to the government. I would ideally want nobody to have a veto, right, in that sense. So I'm okay with that. I'm preempting you on that. But I want you to tell me, where is this fake voting proof? Where is it? Show it to me.
There's ample proof. First of all, good evening to you and to the fellow
Good
panelists. See, Rahul, the way the Bharatiya Janata Party and there's this unholy nexus between BJP and the Election Commission, the collusion between them, it has stifled Indian democracy. And they are constantly stealing the elections and votes to favor Bharatiya Janata Party. And this is something which I can prove with points. See, Rahul, you said, where is the proof? I'll tell you. We all remember what happened in Karnataka. Mr. Rahul Gandhi did a press conference there also. And when this thing came out that the Karnataka CID is asking the Election Commission for the past 2 years that kindly provide IP addresses and the OTP trail so that we can track from where such a sinister conspiracy was hatched. The Election Commission provides them with IP addresses, but the problem is they give them only dynamic IP addresses, because of which geolocation is not possible. They were asking for destination IPs and destination ports, but the Election Commission didn't provide this to the CID. Doesn't this mean that the Election Commission was trying to shield somebody? And then the SIT, while probing, it finally found out that this BJP MLA's name is Subhash Guttedar. He was running a racket and an organization which was responsible for this fake vote deletion, fake IDs for deleting the votes. So this goes on to prove that Bharatiya Janata Party and this Election Commission, this unholy nexus, is creating problems for political parties who want a level playing field. Now, Rahul, I just want to say this, and with all surety, that it's an unfortunate situation. The Election Commission has happily ripped off its spine and offered Bharatiya Janata Party on a platter, and BJP has very happily taken it and made a shoelace out of it. This is the unfortunate reality. There
So,
have
Mr.
been
Kidwai.
just one point, sir. There have been instances like, we all know what happened in Milkipur in Ayodhya when elections were happening. This is what happened. The Yogi police was stealing votes on gunpoint. There were booths were being captured. Samajwadi Party gave enough evidence to the Election Commission, both documentary and video proof. But what did Election Commission do? It did nothing. It kept quiet. It kept silent. It was cold like a dead body.
One second.
This proves that Election Commission
again, viewers, I asked him a simple question. He completely went off to Karnataka. In the Haryana investigation, one second, sir, and those are unrelated issues. That was about deleting people by paying money. So there was a money trail that was established, you had the proof. You say that there is proof now to take this story forward into Haryana. But you have not been given that proof. And if you have that proof, why are you sitting on it? Why don't you go to the Supreme Court with the proof? But you went in the case of the SIT in Aland, right? You went to a court. Yes. So why are you, I mean, if this is such a massive, monumental fraud on democracy, what are you waiting for?
It will happen, Rahul. It will happen.
No, when?
Everything will happen.
Why? Why at this glacial pace?
Don't
the people of Bihar deserve more?
I think it's already in the public.
So let me tell you, viewers. Let me tell you something. Here is the nub of the issue. If a person is coming on a fake voter ID, let's assume, or a mismatched one, where a photo is not sort of going with the face. First things first, viewers. You know, when you go to an election station, you go to the booth, there will be booth in charges of various political parties who look up your name in a voter list and they'll match it. And they'll say, hey, hang on, your face doesn't match. It's happened with me once. Viewers, I had an outdated photograph. Now I have a beard. That card was made when I was 18. And I really looked like a young, sorry to use the word chikna, as someone said to me on my face. They say, ye to aap hai hi nahi. I said, bhai, what can I do? This is me, please accept. They said, no, nothing doing, you can't go in. I didn't even get to the polling station. So, what do the BLOs do? Okay, then you talk about mismatch. EVM kuch bata raha hai, vote kuch bata raha hai. But you sign off on the form that is given to a candidate inside the polling station. When he's present inside the polling station, when the EVM is sealed, he has to sign off after every round. Everything is mum. The voter list is given to you for two months. And in each polling booth, there are about 1,000 voters, viewers. How much time do you think it would take? 3 days, 4 days? Chalo, 1 month if you're really slow. But 2 months go. And you can't find 2 people who can go through 1,000 names to see if their photo is mismatched with their name. Come on, viewers. Something is odd here. Something is really odd. I'm just giving you the procedure. Yes, very quickly, Dr. Ranganathan, I need to move on. Yeah.
No, Rahul, there was no discrepancy. You still look as young as you looked at 18. It's your English diet, fish and chips. No, look, couple of things, as I said. It's let's keep it very simple. All the things that Rahul Gandhi is alleging, the discrepancies and the glitches, absolutely true. They not only are happening, they should be stopped.
Yeah.
The question is, were they happening during the Congress rule? Yes, they were. Did the BJP allege that they are being done
because in 2003, the same electoral rolls were used, sir. They haven't been updated since 2003. In fact, if anything, it's the Brazilian who has said, I've aged. Forget about me. It's the Brazilian who said, mere 18 saal ka photo, now I'm 37 years old. I'm sorry, but this happened in 2000. Anyhow.
I have looked at her closely and she doesn't look as
okay, well, the point is, viewers, that is why we need the SIR. But Rahul Gandhi and all the allies, the DMK, are rushing to the Supreme Court saying no. So the Election Commission said, okay, thank you for pointing certain things out. We're looking foolish. Let's change this situation. Now we have the biometrics. We have lots of things that we can do to make these more robust. And if you saw today, the voter turnout is also up because a huge number of voters were chucked out. So viewers, genuine people have got the opportunity to go and the base has shrunk and therefore your voter by some yardsticks has also gone up in Bihar for the first time in 20 years. But anyhow, these things can be corrected. Let's become part of the solution, not part of the problem. I just want to move on very quickly. There's a very important topic, viewers.